Hello everyone, welcome to Division E West. Flint Tropics taking on Liquid Metal here tonight. We have those coin tosses in, those maps banned, and those maps selected. So let me bring you on over to that map selection screen right now for the rundown of where we're going tonight in this series. That coin toss was won by Liquid Metal. They've opted to go with first pick here, giving map pick over to the side of Flint Tropics. The bans coming out tonight, Dragonshire and Sky Temple banned out by Flint Tropics. Brax's Holdout and Cursed Hollow taken away by... for some reason, the one band's not showing up properly, but that's what's been taken away by Liquid Metal here. I'm wondering if they banned something that's not even in the pool this season. But we are going to Infernal Shrines to kick this evening off here. And it looks like everyone is ready to go, so I'm going to let them know we're ready and we can get into game number 1. Yeah, the Sky Temple it's not in the map pool, but they want to ban it anyways. All right. These are two teams. I am not familiar with any of the players here, so I have no idea what they're going to bring out tonight, what's in their rosters, and what people are comfortable on. And to make it even more exciting, this is Div E West, so it might be some things that no one's expecting here. Some crazy things can happen down in the lower divisions. And I mean that in the best of ways, because they can make for the most entertaining games. We are going to see the Lucio band come out first by Liquid Metal. Meanwhile, Flint Tropics going to follow that up with the Gazlo ban. Another decent patch today, too, for HOT, so I'm interested to see if there's going to be shift in ban priorities after this patch. Do you see the Lunara ban coming out for Liquid Metal here in this last ban? First ban phase from Flint Tropics going to be locked in here in just a moment. And they're going to go with that Chromie. I would say some of these bans, nothing too unusual. Chromie's pretty popular ban at all levels of play here. Lucio is kind of making a comeback in the meta. Gazlo's kind of, you know, he for a while he's very, very popular pickup and very strong, but he had a couple nerfs and we don't see him as often, but sometimes it's still banned out here. The one ban that is a little bit unusual is the Lunar ban, but that could simply just be a target ban onto someone over on the side of Flint Tropics if they're familiar with each other's hero pools here. We do see the Sonya first picked up for Liquid Metal. I think this is a great pickup. Sonya right now in a very strong position. Also just great for that clear on Infernal Shrines and great for getting that self-heal on the shrines as well. They're going to follow the Sonya up with a Joanna and Uther. Meanwhile, over on the side of Flint Tropics, they've locked in that Brightwing and Murden to kick off their side of the draft. All right, second ban phase, couple seconds left here for Flint Tropics, and they're going to go with the Jaina ban. Jaina these days, I've found people either really love her or think she's complete trash. I think it depends on who's playing her a lot of the time. I've seen her pop off and I've seen her struggle. So I don't mind her. I don't think she's like S tier or anything. Maybe not even a high tier at all, but she still has her place and can fit well in a comp. We're going to see the Mephisto band come out here for the side of Liquid Metal. All right, Melthiel and Zul'jin locked in here. So Melthiel will fare pretty well into the matchup with Sonya in that off lane. He also provides some pretty decent clear on the shrines as well here. So I don't mind this pickup, especially with the solid front line that Liquid Metal has going on right now. They have Joanna, Uther main tank, or Uther healer, I mean, and Sonya. That's a pretty beefy front line already, and the Malthael will kind of shred through them. Same with Zul'jin here. You know, picking up this Zul'jin, there's a lot of frontline targets here for Zul'jin to stack off of, and it can work really well for the side of Flint Tropics. So I kind of like those pickups. I'm not the biggest fan of Muradin, but if the team's got enough synergy and communication on hand to follow up on those stuns properly, it can work out well. You got a stun into a polymorph and maybe, depending on what they pick up here, enough blow up damage to potentially get the picks off of that.
For the Nexus.
All right, it's going to be the Orphea. My only worry for the side of Flint Tropics is there's a lot of people that can just kind of run at them, and there's not very much a Muradin can do about that. All right. Let's get ready for game number 1 here between Flint Tropics and Liquid Metal. This is a best of 3 series here. I will say the one thing, depending on how Liquid Metal builds and their players build on their team, they're lacking a little bit of burst damage right now. They're mostly sustained with the Vala Cassia. Vala could go Q build and kind of go for like more bursty thing, and Cassia can provide decent burst with her Surge of Light, but it's really just going to depend on how they decide to build their heroes here.
Prepare yourselves for battle, heroes.
All right, let's get into this first game of the evening here. Flint Tropics taking on Liquid Metal. On the left-hand side, we have Flint Tropics with Karascals on the Malthael, Big Balla Teabag on the Muradin, Draven playing Zul'jin, Aesop on the Orphea, and Blood Beast playing Brightwing. Meanwhile, over on the right-hand side, it's Liquid Metal. Pado playing the Vala. Shane on Joanna. Sir TKPK on the Cassia. Night on the Uther. And on Sonya, we have, oh my goodness, Biranano. I should probably start actually reading their names before I get into draft. One of these days, I'll get in that habit one day. So right away, we have Sonya going up top to catch the soak up there, ready to grab whatever XP is going to crash. Malthael's going to go ahead and rotate up there, recognizing that she's missing from the 4-man. Typically on this map, we see that 4-man rotation between mid and bottom, priority on those camps as soon as they start spawning in. And then around the 2 minute 30-second mark, we'll see Bruiser camp plays here. We do have Cassia splitting off to grab the soak in the bottom. The rest of the members hanging around in mid. Nobody from the side of Flint Tropics has rotated down yet. So if they take too much longer here on that rotation, they are going to miss a little bit of XP in that bottom lane. We still have no one coming down quite yet. So this is going to allow Liquid Metal to get a little bit ahead on the XP here. We're already seeing that. They're at level 2. Not quite level 2's online here for Flint Tropics. We do see Aesop starting to rotate down on that Orphea to catch that XP now. Cassia heading back down as well. Those camps are up and available here. We'll just have to wait and see if any of these teams have anything in mind for them here. Here we are, going to see the Vala Cassia start up the siege camp over on the side of Liquid Metal. Oh, we have a disconnect. There we go. There's the pause coming in here. Go Liquid Metal. Got some Liquid Metal fans in chat tonight. Liquid Metal about to take this siege camp here. Does look like Malthael and Orphea have now just started up the camp over on the side of Flint Tropics, so they're looking to get that out. See, the nice thing about getting on these camps right at 1 minute. If you go straight for your siege camp, you're going to end up having... Okay, they're looking for the readies here. You're going to end up having pressure building in this mid lane that needs to be cleared up. It's going to push the wave forward here and potentially have your minion wave crashing at their gate. So if you get it out before the enemy team, it means they have to worry about clearing up mid and potentially missing soak here, while you can go and now contest this bottom siege camp. If they come to contest you on this bottom siege camp, then they have that pressure and mid mounting and potential XP loss there as well. So it's really a pretty good thing just to get on those camps as early as possible. All right, back into the game here. That siege camp in mid will go out for the side of Liquid Metal, and we're seeing Cassia and Vala head straight down to this bottom siege camp, which I think is a great play here. Right about 2 minutes into the game, Sonya's already starting out that top bruiser camp. Might be a bit early to grab this, so I would like to see her hold off on capping it, because if she gets it out too early, then it's going to be cleared up before objective. And this is a great objective to have that top bruiser camp pushing for. It's going to be spawning in the bottom, so if she waits to cap this, that'll be pushing during objective. Unfortunately, she did cap it right now, so that gives a little bit of time here for the potential rotation up to top lane to clear this up before objective comes in here. We have about 30 seconds now. Do have Vala rotating up, just trying to create a little bit of pressure and grabbing the soak here. I'd say Flint Tropics is doing a pretty good job of making sure that none of their lanes are... Liquid Metal is doing a good job of making sure that none of their lanes are being missed for soak right now. As soon as Sonya had it back, Vala rotated up to grab soak there, and we've seen Cassia and other members rotating between mid and bottom, making sure not to miss waves there. We do have the Malthael getting that bruiser camp out, however, a little bit late on that bruiser camp. He is going to be quite low health here. We're going to have to see him hearth, which means that Liquid Metal is going to have quite the advantage here. Already starting up that shrine, 10 skeletal defenders down and climbing. Orphea says in all chat that they're clearing. They do have, I will say, even though they got that bruiser camp out late here, it's going to be pushing top, so it's going to have to be cleared up. However, this first objective looks like it's really heavily favoring Liquid Metal. Only 3 skeletal defenders away from securing the objective, and the pick on Malthael here. Expect to see Sonya break off to go clear up top, and there's the Punisher jump going out onto Draven here. Rest of the members just looking to siege forward and get as much siege pressure out of this Punisher as possible. Front wall will fall here. Punisher about to go down as well. And about 3/4 of the health of the fort left. Decent minion wave left behind here for the side of Flint Tropics to have to clean up. Level 7 is now coming online for both these teams. Let's take a look, kind of see what's going on with these talents. Vala is going full Q build here, so they do have a little bit of burst added to their team in that way. Cassia taking Thunderstroke at level 1 as well, so she's going to be scaling pretty well into this late game, looking for stacks. Interestingly enough, Murden taking Hammer, or Sledgehammer at level 4 here. Archangel, I do that all the time when I'm watching people stream or cast Heroes of the Storm. I try to click the mini-map when I have it full screen. All right, Liquid Metal picking up their siege camp once again in the mid here. Now potentially looking for a gank on this Orphea. The Condemn comes out from Joanna, Fen from Cassia. Vala going in with the vault here, and the resets on her Q, and that's going to be Orphea getting picked off here, and now an invade onto the siege camp of Flint Tropics. Stun goes out onto the Muradin. He is blinded as well, looking to disengage. Joanna coming up, stepping forward, looking for those squishies. Zul'jin trying to get some stacks there. We're going to see the Muradin fall. Zul'jin needs to be quite careful that he doesn't overstay his welcome here. He is currently sitting at 21 stacks, though, so that's pretty decent 5 minutes into the game. But level 10s are now online for the side of Liquid Metal, and they are painting this map red. We do have Uther picking up Divine Storm here, Rain of Vengeance from the Vala, Wrath of the Berserker being locked in by Sonya, Blessed Shield from the Joanna, and Cassia still holding off on her ult. We'll just have to see what she's going to pick up here. With that level 10 advantage and the camps around to help them out as well, they're going to push forward, take down that bottom fort. and start to open this map up a little bit. Joanna stepping up here, going for that condemn. Vala just looking to get those stacks on her level 4 quest here. Puncturing arrow. Looking to hit heroes with her Q to finish that quest out. Level 10s are online now for the side of Flint Tropics. That Cassia ult we are waiting on is going to be Ball Lightning. Looking for the engage here. Vala goes in looking for Brightwing. The stun comes out from Uther. Phase shift out from the Brightwing to keep the Zul'jin alive, who pops his Taz Dingo. They are all going to make it out here. What a great play there. Pop that Taz Dingo and have that phase shift come in to keep the Zul'jin alive. We do see Sonya picking up that top bruiser camp once again, and the top next objective will be spawning in the top lane here. It is going to be a Frozen Punisher. A little bit of a fight going on in this mid. Both teams just kind of poking it out, looking for the stacks they want to scale well into the late game here. Looking at those couple baseline quests over on the side of Flint Tropics. Murden sitting at 3 stacks on his baseline quest. Zul'jin now up to 24. Cassia with that level 1 quest sitting at 15 stacks. A little bit of a fight breaking here. Eternal Feast is going to be popped by the Orphea. Couple members stunned into that for a moment. Another stun coming out onto Flint Tropics. We are going to see Malthael fall, followed by the Murden here. Aesop looking like he might be in a bit of trouble. And Vala on the chase here, trying to get that last pick. The spear from Sonya connects, and down goes the Orphea. Liquid Metal going to use these death timers to create a bit of pressure in this top lane, start to open it up for this Punisher that they are about to get online here. This is a Frozen Punisher, so this one will be shutting down forts and towers here. And keeps, you know, any structure that shoots stuff potentially going to be frozen here. So this is a great one to siege with. They're about to have those level 13s online as well, so this is the one that they can kind of potentially run away with here. Use that talent tier advantage and the fact that this one is shutting down structures to really create a lot of pressure and siege up. Maybe even get some of this keep down. Huge combo out onto that Murden. Just blown up. Step one position, one step out of position there, and it's just capitalized on by the side of Liquid Metal there.
Red team has destroyed a fort.
Unfortunately, now the Frozen Punisher locking down Orphea here. We're going to see her fall as well. A little less than half health left on this Punisher, though, as it sieges up. But with 2 members down, they still could get some great push out of this Punisher. He's going to jump over onto the Zul'jin. He's going to continue to shred this down and try to clear it up before they can find too much more with it. So they do manage to secure that fort, or the keep wall here, and are now going to back off. 13's not quite online for Flint Tropics, so they're still potentially fighting down a talent tier. We do see the invade over here, successfully pulled off by the Sonya. She's going to go ahead and grab that siege camp. Sonya going full W build right here as well, which has been pretty popular on Sonya. It can be really bursty, a lot of damage coming out there. Gojira, thank you for the raid. Hey Poppy, how are you? Oh, you can't be in this stream. We are casting Division E West tonight. Flint Tropics taking on Liquid Metal. You guys are just in time for the first game. Sonya is going to go ahead, grab this bottom siege camp here, and Liquid Metal's just been really on top of ensuring that they're getting these camps out and not missing soak anywhere. They're playing the macro game fairly well. Draven has finished up that baseline quest on Zul'jin now, so keep in mind, you know, there's a little bit of scaling happening on both these teams. The Zul'jin and Cassia taking Thunderstroke. I feel like Zul'jin's going to scale a little harder, potentially. So even though there might be a big level lead here for Liquid Metal, they find themselves, you know, in the late game, and Flint Tropics catch up here. It could be a little bit of a pain here with the Zul'jin stacking so hard. We're going to see the invade over onto the Bruiser camp here of Flint Tropics. Liquid Metal going ahead with the successful invade. That could have been an opportunity there for Flint Tropics to try and force a fight. Level 16s were not online for the side of Liquid Metal. It would have been nice for them just to try to look for that fight, because right now you're so far behind on XP. You're 2 levels down on Liquid Metal, so you kind of want to look for those fights on equal talent tiers when they present themselves. So now if they walk in and are forced into a fight here, they're fighting down a talent tier. It's not necessarily where you want to be and what you want to try to be doing at this point. Malthael is continuing to soak the other lanes here to try and catch his team up. But really, Liquid Metal, if they can force anything, now's the time to do it. They have that talent tier advantage. Their ultimates are online. Sonya just popped her Wrath of the Berserker. See if they can do anything with this talent tier advantage. Zul'jin is continuing to sack. He's sitting at 35 stacks now on his baseline quest.
Another shrine will be ready soon.
And this is a perfect pickup time on this camp for Liquid Metal. They're going to grab this right before objective spawns in, and it's going to be pushing top during this next objective, which is mid, by the way. Now, luckily for the side of Flint Tropics, that's also where they have a fort, so they have a bit of a structure to disengage and fall back to if they need to back off from a fight here. But they're still down their level 16 talent tier, and they don't have a fountain that they can reset at like Flint or like Liquid Metal does. Flint Tropics a little bit, well, not even a little bit, quite a bit disadvantage here at this objective if they try to contest it. There's Joanna checking the bush with that condemn. The shrine clear already favoring the side of Liquid Metal here. 14 skeletal defenders and climbing. Looks like Flint Tropics doesn't want to give it over for free, regardless of that talent tier disadvantage here. A little bit of a split fight happening. We're going to see Orphea getting caught down below, and in the top here, Murden getting chased down, but the phase shift coming out from Brightwing to keep him alive. They get the counter kill onto Sonya. Now they're looking for more. Rain of Vengeance comes out from the wall. It connects onto a couple members of Flint Tropics, and we're going to see 2 more members fall here. Make that 3 as Orphea, Brightwing, and Malthael all get picked off. Zul'jin, the only one left standing. A 4-for-1 in favor of Liquid Metal here, and they will be securing this next Punisher, which I believe is an Arcane Punisher here. Wow, Cassia going deep for that one there. Managed to sneak the kill in on Zul'jin as well. So all 5 members down, this Arcane Punisher heading down mid lane. But they're looking at securing this top keep off those kills. Death timers are still quite low, and 16s are online here for Flint Tropics, so it might be a little bit greedy to try and go for a core call here. In fact, if I was over on the side of Flint Tropics, I'd want to be trying to force something now underneath this core. But they just don't have the CC to make it work. We're actually going to see the Condemn come out from Joanna, the Rain of Vengeance being dropped by Vala, Ball Lightning, pop by the Cassia. Bunch of ults now down over on the side of Liquid Metal as well. Even better a reason to try and force something after they clear up this Punisher. However, Orphea does fall, so now it would be a 4v5 if they wanted to do anything here. The pressure from Liquid Metal is just really, really mounting here in this mid lane. A big wave coming through. And they're looking for potentially more picks. They do have quite a few ults down, but Uther still has his Divine Storm here to set up a kill potentially if they wanted to hang around. They're going to go ahead and back off though. At this point in the match, great call by Liquid Metal. They are going to hit level 20s well before Flint Tropics here. So all they really need to do is sit back, play safe, let that XP come to them, get those level 20s online, and then look for your fight up a talent tier advantage. If they were to stick around there, that would just give Flint Tropics an opportunity to try and take a fight on equal talent tiers. So we're going to see Liquid Metal once again painting this map red, locking in that siege camp in the mid, grabbing the siege camp in the bottom. The only other camp up on the map right now is that Bruiser camp. However, Flint Tropics are working on that right now, and they are going to be able to pick this up. Got those retreat pings coming out here. Nobody wanting to step too far out in the lane for fear of getting ganked by Liquid Metal right now. Malthael needs to be a bit careful here. It doesn't look like he's too far out, but it's far enough that they could easily land a Blessed Shield combo here. There's the Rain of Vengeance. Ball Lightning comes out, and we are going to see Malthael fall. Didn't even need to use the Blessed Shield there. Still a ways off from level 20s being online for Flint Tropics. There's the Blessed Shield coming out from Joanna. Now the Condemned to follow it out. Eternal Feast being dropped by the Orphea to try and peel for a team, but Murden getting quite low. Phase shift coming out from Brightwing to try and keep him up here as Aesop getting poked down by that Vala. Draven turning around, trying to get some damage out onto the side of Liquid Metal, but no one really close to going down at the moment. Joanna, the closest, but she does have that level 20 to be procced here. We are going to see Zul'jin and Brightwing fall. Orphea able to back out, and now Core Call coming out from the side of Liquid Metal. They're going to go ahead and get another pick here. Murden going down. Core falling, 30% and falling here, as Liquid Metal closes out game number 1 of the series. GG and well played. Take a look at this match summary here for a moment. And I'll update that score in just a moment as well here. Let's take a look at these talents really quick. All right. Nothing too unusual coming out from the Orphea here. This has been kind of like the build people tend to go these days on her. Murden taking the Sledgehammer at 4. Kind of an interesting pickup here. You don't see it as often as the other talents picked up, but it can really help with getting, you know, camps and stuff out. I think it's unusual pickup. What else is really sticking out to me here? I do like that Vala opted to go with full Q build here, knowing that, you know, having Vala Cassia on your team, you're not going to have the best burst damage. Like, Surge of Light provides you with some burst damage, but just going full Q build on a Vala and having Rain of Vengeance to pair off of that Uther Divine Storm and the Joanna Blessed Shield, you can so easily burst someone down, and you just like stun, Q, vault, Q, W them, and now they're just gone if you can land it all. So I don't mind the pickup. It's also really great. We saw Vala grabbing a lot of camps this game as well, and it's decent for the clear on the Punisher, on the shrines, I should say. And on the Punisher if they were to have lost one, but they didn't, I don't think. So yeah, I would say all in all, Liquid Metal looking a little more consistent in this series, just making sure that they're not missing soak in their lanes, that they're getting those camps out when they should be getting those camps out, or at least getting the camps out at all. Maybe not the best timing on all of the camps, but they're happening. There's something that Liquid Metal knows needs to be picked up. Just waiting on that next lobby to come out here, but let's pop on over to me. Now, since Flint Tropics lost that first one, they're going to be given the option of first pick or map pick here. So we're just waiting on that lobby to come up. But I'll be interested to see what they grab here, what potentially their draft strategies may change after seeing who plays what over on the side of Liquid Metal for game number 1. I'm not sure how long these teams have been around and how familiar each team is with the players here. So there is a chance that, you know, it might not necessarily have been target banning or happening in that first game. But so far, Liquid Metal looking pretty strong in this series. I'd love to see Flint Tropics take it to game 3, though. Always rooting for a game 3. Alright, still waiting to hear if we have a lobby up quite yet. There we go. There's the invite. So I'll give you guys a rundown of where we're going for game number 2 in just a moment. Let me get everything updated here. Fake glasses? What? These are real glasses. uh, Give me a moment here. Let me just update the map selection screen for you guys so you can see where we're going for game number 2. Does look like Flint Tropics has opted for first pick after losing game number 1, giving map pick over to the side of Liquid Metal. So let's look at those map selections now. We are going to be going to Alterac Pass for game number 2. Again, this is a map pick by Liquid Metal this time around here. Those map bans coming out, Dragonshire for Flint Tropics. They also wanted to ban out Sky Temple, but that's not in the map pool for NGS, so they're missing a ban today. Over on the side of Liquid Metal, Braxis Holdout, Cursed Hollow banned out. So if you're wondering why, there's just one less ban for Flint Tropics. That's why. Thanks for announcing these guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, my pleasure. No, the glasses are real. I have trouble seeing things far away. And so just the distance from like my monitor to reading chat, the chat's small enough that it's a little blurry. So that's why I wear them. All right, they're looking for the readies. I'm going to let them know we're ready, and we'll get into this game number 2 here between Flint Tropics and Liquid Metal. I have a cat clawing me, so as soon as I'm done this, I need to go feed her. I think I would like to see Flint Tropics just pick up a little bit more CC in their kit. Murden doesn't provide the greatest setup for kill potentials here, and their offlaner was a Melthiel, so again, not really any CC in his kit. And their healer really just, Brightwing just has her polymorph. So I think if they have a little bit more CC, they'll be able to perform a little bit better. Whereas the side is of Liquid Metal, you know, they had their Joanna to set up with Condemns and her Blessed Shield. They had the Uther that went Divine Storm, who already has stuns on his kit, as well as a Sonya that can go for her spear. Oh my goodness, my cat is just clawing and trying to come sit with me. We do see the Cassia ban coming out here for Flint Tropics. Lucio being banned out by Liquid Metal. So a little bit of a target ban going out here by Flint Tropics after game number 1. We did see the Cassia getting played by Liquid Metal. Sorry, I'm trying to balance keeping notes of draft while a cat's clawing up me and casting the draft at the same time. Vala being banned by Flint Tropics, so just full on going with those target bans after game number 1, taking away some of the pieces that allowed Liquid Metal to get the win there.
My blades are yours.
Liquid Metal, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're going to lock that Uther Sonya once again. The Chromie making it through draft this time, and Flint Tropics grabbing it here. Interested to see if they can get a decent value out of her, because she's pretty great at stalling out the objective.
Ready for action.
All right, give me a moment to catch up on my draft notes here, because my cat finally is not trying to claw up my back. Feed the kitty. I know. She'll get food after the cast. Again, I would rather see Flint Tropics pick up like a Joanna here. Joanna would have paired nicely, you know, kind of pull people in for the Condemns. Chromie can get some easy targets landed, like any skill shots landed on targets off the Condemn. Murden just, it's a little bit harder for him to set up kills with his lack of CC. He really just has that Storm Bolt. Those bans coming out. Brightwing being banned here by Liquid Metal. Brightwing was a pickup for Flint Tropics in game number 1. They're going to go ahead and lock the Joanna. We saw them play Joanna as well in game 1. The only really real difference in the draft here is going to be those damage pickups. Oh, look at all the melee damage coming out over on the side of Liquid Metal. If I didn't have a mage already, I'd want to be going Kale Paws. Spread those bombs. Yeah, I see. I'm really worried here. Again, right now, Liquid Metal's draft is looking like they can just run at them again, and Muradin's not going to be able to peel for them, as well as some other tanks would be able to. Let's see what they pick up here and see if it's going to be enough to kind of help out with the disengage. Varian doesn't really have the best peel either, though. I'm interested to see how this Varian's going to be building, since he will be the offlaner. Now, there is the potential here. You don't see it very often, but Varian can twin blades on Alterac Pass and solo bosses. So maybe they're going to try and sneak some solo boss Varian plays in here on this map. It's just always very risky to solo a boss and get caught on it by yourself there, because you potentially give a boss over to the enemy team and you're not going to be able to contest it solo. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Tyke is going to be picked up for Liquid Metal here to round out their draft. I will say their draft is not a lot of range damage coming in here. Tyke's range is very small. Greymane, you know, also kind of half range, half melee. A lot of frontline happening over there, and it might actually play in favor to Liquid Metal in this draft, simply because Muradin and Varian just don't provide the kind of disengage and peel for their teams that are needed into this frontline heavy comp. The cat wants it right meow. Alterac is my Rexar map just for the bosses. Yeah, it can work, just I think it depends on what level of play. Like, I found in some levels of play you can get away with sneaking solo bosses in there, but at other, once you get into a certain rank of play, people recognize when offlaners that can solo bosses are missing, and they go check the bosses and catch them on it. So it definitely could work here. Could work here. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Let's get into this. Flint Tropics versus Liquid Metal. Liquid Metal up 1 game in the series. On the left-hand side, we have the Flint Tropics with Karascals on the Varian, Big Balla Teabag on the Muradin, Draven playing Chromie, Blood Beast on the Anduin, and Aesop on the Raynor. Meanwhile, over on the right-hand side, Liquid Metal, Shane going to be on the Joanna, Night Knight on the Uther, Pato on the Tychus, Sir TKPK playing Greymane, and on the Sonya, it's Biranonal. See Sonya right away starting in that top lane as well. Still not sure how Chromie got through. Sometimes she makes it through. I think that there's probably some target banning happening by Liquid Metal here, because they banned Lucio and Lunara as their first bans both games. So there must be a decent Lucio and Lunara over on the side of Flint Tropics. All right, Greymane and Raynor matching it out down here in the bottom lane. Raynor should be able to outpoke the Greymane, but if Greymane can get enough damage out onto Raynor, watch out for that Worgen Form to come in and really chunk you down here. It's a good idea if you are the Raynor in this matchup. Make sure you're saving that Q in case Greymane tries to engage onto you. You have that knockback just to keep yourself alive. Camps are up now. You typically see people try to get these camps out right at the 1 minute mark because they have such low timers. You can get it out again once objective comes up. So we do see Tychus and Uther working on the camp over on the side of Liquid Metal. Chromie and Raynor working on this camp. Draven getting quite low. Probably going to have to Hearth after this. Take a look at those level 1 talents here. Raynor, Raynor's taking Veteran Marksman. Interesting. That is probably the least picked talent on Raynor. Usually you see Exterminator. This map doesn't have a lot of camps for pickup for Exterminator, but still provides decent clear. If not, it's usually ace in the hole. So Veteran's Marksman is interesting pickup. We'll have to see how well he scales with that. You did see... it was Draven playing Zul'jin last game. So I was going to say, Draven stacked really well on the Zul'jin last game. They just weren't really able to find the kills they needed.
Our scouts report the horde's keeping some of our soldiers prisoner. Get ready to free them.
Liquid Metal already starting to just get a little bit ahead on that XP here. About half a level up now on Flint Tropics. But they have a nice wave here to clear up that might catch them up. We do have a bit of siege pressure happening down in this bottom lane. Raynor just left alone here to try and deal with a Greymane Tychus and Joanna pushing onto his bottom fort. They're going to back off now.
Keep our prison camp from being captured and get our soldiers
XP's
out of the
pretty much evening up by these teams here. Bit of poke damage happening over onto this front wall. Joanna coming in with the flank, landing the condemn onto Muradin and Chromie. Stun follow up by the Uther. The Leap of Faith comes out, but it feels like that might have been a misclick there because they pull the Muradin out instead of the Chromie, and we are going to see Chromie fall. We will see Liquid Metal walk over here, start the channel onto objective, and with Chromie down, there's not really much poke that they have to stall that out. In the future, they maybe could get a Hyperion or Raynor's Raider to go just like hit the person channeling, but for now, without Chromie up, they're gonna go ahead, get those level 7s and get the channel started here. 15 seconds left until this first objective is secured by Liquid Metal. Let's see if Flint Tropics can do anything about it. Chromie is back up, a root comes out onto the Joanna. She's gonna pop her Iron Skin and walk out of that. Chromie damage trying to come out online, looking at that Tychus, but Tychus and Uther are going to walk straight into that Chromie. She's split off from her team now and in a little bit of awkward positioning. We do have Aesop, though. He's going to get picked off here. The rest of the members looking to disengage. Chromie stepping back up to try and get some damage out. And now is going to back off this first objective, going over to the side of Liquid Metal. Let's see what they can do with it. If they can get as much value as they did with Punishers in the first game, this is already setting up Liquid Metal to be in a good position in game number 2. This is a taunt variant, by the way. I don't think we mentioned that yet. So no sneaky boss steals coming in here for taunt variant. Taunt variant can work really well with a Chromie as long as you guys communicate to save abilities. You know, if you're looking for kills off of a taunt, it's important that your damage dealers know what you're looking for. We do have Muradin chasing to try and get this Joanna kill, but he's going to pay for that using that Dwarf Toss to go in there and land the stun on Joanna, but there's no one to follow up with damage here. This is basically 2 tanks and a healer in this top lane. They're not getting any kills right now, and this top fort is going to fall. This Rider in the top lane getting quite low, almost have it cleared up. The other lanes have been cleared for now. The Zeratul, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I would say that's some pretty good value off of the first objective here. They get that top fort. Bottom fort is basically a couple hits away from going down as well. So they're going to have those periodic katas in the top lane spawning in to help with the siege pressure for Liquid Metal. Something that Flint Tropics are going to have to go back and clear every once in a while are those katas now, which are also periodically spawning in the bottom lane now that they finished off that fort. Bosses are up. We have Greymane doing the siege camp over on the side of Liquid Metal here to get that out. And the siege camp just getting picked up a moment ago by Flint Tropics, now heading towards that mid. Level 10s are online for Liquid Metal here. Almost there for Flint Tropics. It is going to be the Divine Storm once again from Uther, Wrath of the Berserker from Sonya, Odin from Tychus, Cursed Bullet from the Greymane, and Blessed Shield from Joanna. Level 10's online now for Flint Tropics. Hyperion from the Raynor. Chromie is going Temporal Loop, which is another interesting pickup here. You usually see a lot of Slowing Sands. If you can just drop your Slowing Sands onto somebody, it's such an easy target to focus for the follow-up damage here. We do see that Temporal Loop come out onto Uther, and Uther gets really low. He does fall here. They get the pick onto Liquid Metal, and now Liquid Metal looking for the counter kill. Andron's going to pop his Holy Word Salvation and heal the team up. This is a really interesting pickup on the Uther as well, because there's so many interrupts over on the side of Liquid Metal, whether it be Joanna Condemn, Joanna Blessed Shield, the Spear from Sonya, a Grenade from Tychus, Uther stuns, Uther ultimate. There's just so many opportunities here for that Holy Word Salvation to be picked up. You really have to be paying attention for what has been used in fights to get the value you need out of that Holy Word Salvation. We'll just have to check or keep an eye on it and see how often it gets interrupted and if they do find it. They did get the value there, so who knows? Maybe it's the pickup for Flint Tropics this match. Those other ultimates that we haven't really talked about yet, Warbringer being picked up by the Varian, and we saw Muradin going Avatar here. Look at that damage going out onto the Tychus here. The Temporal Loop gets popped onto Joanna, but she has that Iron Skin. She's going to use that to avoid getting rewinded here. Meanwhile, next objective is coming up. Nobody quite at those level 13 talent tiers, so right now might be a good time for Flint Tropics to try and force a fight before level 13s are up for Liquid Metal. They do step forward, start to clear those minions on the objective, but they need to keep in mind, Chromie is very low on mana here. She's not going to be able to hang around for too much longer. Varian has now joined the fight, though, so this is a 5v5. Let's see if they can make anything work. Taunt going out onto the Sonya. Let's see if they have the follow-up damage to do anything out of it. Holy Word Salvation coming out. The Divine Storm from Uther also connecting here, but not onto Anduin, so he's going to get some decent value out of that. And they actually get the pick onto Sonya, followed it up by the Greymane and Uther going down. Joanna and Tychus now on their retreat here. This is what Flint Tropics needs. They are now caught up on XP with Liquid Metal. They're going to get the pick onto Joanna and go ahead and start the channel here. We're going to see Chromie back to get her mana topped up. Meanwhile, Varian, also quite low on health, potentially needs to think about her thing or going to get a drink at the fountain here. But level 13s are online now for Flint Tropics. This is a kind of a big power spike tier for Flint Tropics if Varian talents into the shield breaking talent here. Still waiting on him to pick this up, but the nice thing is it's literally just a point and click get rid of shields on Joanna's Iron Skin. Chromie is back now, full mana, but the stall here going to be secured for Liquid Metal as Tychus was able to channel that objective and get it stopped. Joanna coming in now for the Condemn. Aesop getting a little bit split from this team, going a different pathing here, getting quite chunked down. Needs to be a bit careful. We have the Temporal Loop coming out onto the Tychus. Not quite able to secure the kill off that. Very low health bars on both sides here. Joanna stepping up, trying to get that Rainer. She's going to fall for that. A 1-for-0 right now in favor of Flint Tropics, and they're looking for potentially more here. Stun goes out onto the Tychus. Chromie tossing out. And there's the taunt. Here's a Holy Word Salvation from Anduin. Again, completely uninterrupted that entire time. He's going to get the full value off, and they're chasing for more kills here. The root goes out onto Tychus, and he's going to fall as well. So now a 3-for-0 in favor of Flint Tropics, and they're going to go ahead and start the channel once again. I think just having that little bit of extra CC this time with a Variant taunt is working out for their team here. I'm going to go ahead and try and sneak the boss in here as well. This is kind of a risky play because level 13s are online for Liquid Metal. They're coming in full health, full mana onto this boss and ready to fight. Tychus is just coming up now, so it might work out okay. It does look like they're going to go ahead and get this boss in, but it's always it can always be a risky play trying to sneak a boss in before these objectives just for the potential invade. So if you die over a boss play at this point, you're going to get basically no value out of the objective that you just worked so hard for. However, high risk, high reward because this boss is going to be escorted by a rider here, and they are looking to shred through this bottom lane. Hyperion goes out from the Rainer, and Joanna just gets blown up here. Now, Varian didn't take the 13 I was expecting here. Actually went with the reduction in healing. Which, maybe he can find some value with. You have that Temporal Loop coming out now onto the Uther. Chromie dropping just a ton of damage, and they're going to secure 2 more kills here. Tychus and Uther going down. This boss almost dead, but a lot of pressure on this bottom keep of Liquid Metal. Tables have kind of turned in game number 2 here. We saw this level difference in game number 1 in favor of Liquid Metal. This time, it's in favor of Flint Tropics. See if they can do anything with this level 16 talent tier advantage. This might not be a bad time to potentially go force a boss. Chromie is quite low on mana, though. She might want to consider backing up, looking for that That was a really good stun. Sonya just landed her spear and got stunned like halfway through the pull there. Okay, Varian has been working on this siege camp the entire time. Level 16s are very close to coming online here for the side of Liquid Metal, and this is going to be their window of opportunity to look for that fight on equal talent tiers. Seed camps for both teams pushing through that mid here. Do have Liquid Metal stepping up to clear the siege camp of Flint Tropics first, so there's going to be a bit of pressure here for Flint Tropics to have to clear up in their mid lane. I will say, you know, they went straight through bottom and got that keep down, which is great for them because that means they're going to have katas in every wave pushing down that bottom lane. This next objective is spawning in top. So that's great for Flint Tropics, but they have yet to get forts in either of the other lanes. So they still have pressure in those lanes that they have to deal with. Murden trying to go in for that Storm Bolt. Doesn't quite connect here. Both teams just kind of dancing around. Looking for someone to misstep at this point because equal talent tiers... And there we have Sonya going in there for the spear onto Raynor. Hyperion being dropped. Iron Skin out from the Joanna. The Condemn coming out as well. Joanna getting quite low. And here is the Holy Word Salvation. Once again, almost the full duration going off. The Blessed Shield coming in there at the end. They're going to get the pick onto Varian. He's going to go down here. The chase is on for the remaining members, but their health bars are quite low. If Chromie can get her abilities landing on the right targets, she could pop off a little bit here. They're going to go over to this objective, start to try and channel that, but Chromie's still up, so that means they have the poke they need here to deny the pickup at this objective and maybe even risk losing some members here if the wrong people start the channel. However, they do manage to secure this objective, and the channel has started now for the side of Liquid Metal. This is exactly what they needed here. Look for that fight on equal talent tiers while they can, and this time they managed to get that pick onto the Varian and turn this fight in their favor. 35 seconds left on this objective, so we are going to see Varian come back up to contest this with his team. However, they can't have the patience here. They might end up in a bit of trouble. The Temporal Loop comes out from Chromie, but Murden looks like he's going to fall to the Sonya here. Sonya getting quite low. They can't quite get the counter pick they need. There's Draven stepping forward, landing her Qs there, getting the pick onto Sonya, and Chromie now looking for more blood. The Blessed Shield went out, but it did not connect. Chromie chasing them off. She's like, I don't have any mana, I don't have any health, but I'm so bursty, I know you're scared of me anyway. Trying to find that pick onto Uther. Quite low on mana. The taunt comes out onto Joanna. Still has enough mana to throw it another Q and help Raynor to secure that kill onto Joanna, and that's a great pickup because you now have a stagger death over on the side of Liquid Metal. And look at the pressure mounting in the bottom lane as well. They have a ton of minions on their core, and the core is taking damage. Now, fortunately, this map, kind of interesting core because it does clear the core, or it does clear the minions at core fairly well here and also regenerates health. So you at least have that going in your favor, that you don't have to worry that just because it took a little bit of damage, they now have a potential backdoor win condition here. I have Greymane coming in here trying to contest this camp. However, he's going to get taunted, and now... Oh, able to actually go ahead and roll on out of there. Raynor not quite able to get that last auto hit out on him. He is going to be able to survive. 3 seconds left until Flint Tropics does secure this objective. Let's see what kind of value they can get out of it this time. Level 20 is very close to being online for Flint Tropics as well for this push. Looks like they're going to siege up through the mid here. Start to get that cleared up because bottom lane is the priority right now for Liquid Metal. That lane is going to be heading straight to core, and if too much pressure mounts there, then their core starts to take damage, and that's just a potential loss. The Rider, though, because I did clear those waves, is going to be spawning pretty far back, so they don't need to worry about it right away. They can set up a defense here for their mid keep. The taunt's going to go out onto Joanna. Now the blow-up damage to follow it up. Joanna is going to fall. Uther is going to go down as well. The Holy Word Salvation goes off, and once again, great value out of that Holy Word Salvation. Anduin is just here to prove me wrong today, because even with all these interrupts, he's managing to get the value that he needs out of his Holy Word Salvation. We do have Flint Tropics on the core now. Greymane trying to get some picks, but the taunt comes out onto Greymane. Chromie going in for that follow-up burst damage. Raynor is going to be the one to secure the kill, though. 4 members down on the side of Liquid Metal, and the core is falling here. About 10,000 health left and going down. Tyke is the only one left up, and this is going to be game number 2 going over to the side of Flint Tropics. So we have a game number 3 on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. GG's and well played. Hi, Kalis. How are you? Take a minute to look at this match summary here. This is like the reverse of what we saw for game number 1. Game number 1, we saw very high deaths over on the side of Flint Tropics, low deaths for Liquid Metal, and now we have the reverse here. Take a look at these talent tiers, or these talents as well. And I'm just going to give my voice a little bit of a break while we mosey around at these talents here. Still exciting that we get to go to a game number 3 here. You never really know what's in store when you're casting a Division DE game in terms of how balanced are the teams going to be, what comps are they going to like to run, how much synergy do the teams have. So when you come in and one team really gets stomped in game number 1, I get a little worried that we're not going to get to that game number 3 I'm always hoping for. But Flint Tropics just came online here, ready to show them. That Chromie, what a god. That Chromie, I feel like is like the ballsiest Chromie I've seen. Like no health, no mana, and just walking straight into a Joanna Uther and chasing them off the point. It was really cool. Enjoyed watching. Gotta go watch some folks. Alright, have a good night, Archangel. Got tomorrow off from work. Took a nap on the couch. I can't nap. I just end up getting a full night's sleep if I try to nap. All right, next lobby is up, so let's pop on over to me and we will update here where we're going in just a moment. Trying to get my notes all updated. Game number 3 just on the horizon here, so let me update those map selections and I'll let you know where we're going here. Just waiting to see who picked this map. Alright, let's go there now. So it does look like after losing game number 2, Liquid Metal has opted to go with first pick, giving map pick over to Flint Tropics, and they are bringing us to Volskaya Foundry to wrap up this series here. Let me update that score too, because Flint Tropics has got one game here in the series. Score 1-1. Their readies are coming out. I'm going to let them know. The readies are coming out, but there's still one person missing from the lobby. Regularly happens to me too, which is why I tend to set alarms on my phone. Yeah, I just sleep a lot at night instead of taking naps. But I have that luxury because I don't work, so. All right, here we go. Game number 3 of this series. What a back and forth series it's been. Game number 1, Liquid Metal coming in pretty dominant, winning that game. Game number 2, Flint Tropics turning it around. Very dominant showing there. So let's see what's going to happen for game number 3. Flint Tropics sticking with that Cassia ban. It worked out for them in game number 2. Game number 1, they had to face it, and that's the one they lost. So I'm not too surprised there. Meanwhile, the same band's coming out for Liquid Metal. They're going to stick with the Lucio and the Lunara band. So I can't help but feel that these are just very popular pickups for Flint Tropics. Target bands onto their players that they don't want to have to deal with. They're that scared of them. We're going to see that Chromie ban come out once again, as first pick is not over to Flint Tropics here. So that could mean
My blades are yours.
the Vala pickup once again, maybe? 'Cause that's what we saw them run earlier. But they have always been locking in Sonya Uther pretty early in the draft, so I'm not too surprised there. The way that Liquid Metal likes to play their draft is they do focus on picking up their healer, tank, and offlaner in the early draft and save their DPS for last pickup here.
I'm here to help.
Oh, they're going to lock in the Jaina here. Now, I think I would be thinking about taking away the Joanna at this point because this has been a very comfort pick tank lock-in for Liquid Metal, both of these games. But we'll have to see what they're going to opt for here. They still need a tank and a potential DPS, so there might be something where they want to get rid of the Vala instead. Joanna, but there we go. There's Joanna being banned out now. It's going to be followed up with that Mephisto ban once again coming out from the side of Liquid Metal. So let's see some target bans happening over on the side of Liquid Metal. I mean, I know the bans from Flint Tropics are now target bans because we've seen Cassie and Jonah be played by Liquid Metal tonight. And Chromie just all around strong hero.
For the alliance above all.
Alright. Sticking with that Varian once again. So we still need that blow up damage here to kind of follow up on a taunt Varian if they're going to go that. May being locked in now for Liquid Metal, looking for that last pickup. Another DPS damage to be grabbed. Maybe Greymane again. Maybe Vala. Both kind of at that auto attack roll.
This will rise again. Obey the
Oh,
call.
that's a spicy pickup. KTZ. Who would have known? KTZ getting picked up by Aesop here. That's, you know, interesting again because the same kind of things are at play as we've seen in the last couple games. One worked out really well in Flint Tropics' favor, the other didn't. So there's a lot of, you know, kind of frontline that can just run at Flint Tropics, and Varian and Muradin only have so many tools in their kit to really help with the peel and disengage for their team here. And we have the Keldazad pickup, which means, you know, the early game, and Zul'jin. So this early game is going to be a little bit... Oh, and Varian, who doesn't come online till really level 4. Which again means the early game might be a bit of a struggle for Flint Tropics if Liquid Metal can really capitalize on that and get a runaway with the lead, knowing that they're waiting on heroes like Zul'jin and KTZ and Varian to really scale. It could play out pretty well in their favor here. We're just going to have to see how this goes, but...
The battle begins in 10 seconds.
It's, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
4, 3, 2, 1. Let the battle begin.
Now, solid frontline also means Zul'jin is going to easily stack. We saw Zul'jin get fairly stacked fairly quickly in game number 1 here for Flint Tropics, so there's a chance that he just does that again. But we'll have to see with maybe just having that taunt Varian like they did last time is just enough lockdown with the Zul'jin damage and now a KTZ on top of that to secure those kills that they need. The Blizzard being dropped on the wave here. KTZ turning around and getting that combo out. Keeping an eye on those baseline quests over on the side of Flint Tropics because there's quite a few with KTZ, Zul'jin, and Muradin all having those baseline quests to finish off. Now, for this map, there's a couple ways that you could play this. You sometimes see teams go straight for their turret camps as soon as they come up at the 1 minute mark. And then if they get their turret camp out well before the other team, you can look to invade or just force that biotic emitter camp, the heal support camp in the top lane. I've also seen some teams know that, you know, they have the enemy team on their turret camp and go ahead and force the biotic emitter while they're split doing the turret camp and then go take their turret camp afterwards. You do potentially, if you play it that way, there's the potential that they go for the invade on your turret though as well. So just some different ways I've seen it play out here. But both teams able to get those turret camps up. The nice thing too, you really want to get that turret camp pretty early because it comes back up during objectives. So you can end up up two turrets. There we go. In the first objective if you manage to time your camps correctly. I do have a pretty early siege camp pickup here for the side of Liquid Metal. It's meaning that Flint Tropics is going to have the opportunity to clear this up before objective, and then they can look to secure their camp and have that pushing the top lane during objective. Something that Liquid Metal is going to have to leave the point potentially to clear up, or if they don't, you know, take a bunch of front wall damage on their top fort, which is also happens to be where the next objective is. Right now, Liquid Metal slightly ahead in the experience, but nothing that Flint Tropics can't make up for, and they're going to do that right here, getting that first blood onto Sonya.
Combat in the Nexus. Prepare to begin field testing.
You're going to see Zul'jin rotate to get that top soak. The rest of the team starting up this siege camp. This is great timing here for Flint Tropics. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, it looks like they wanted to think about a gank onto the Varian. However, Varian, well aware of the potential for a kill onto him, was sticking back pretty far here. That camp is secured and pushing that top lane. Draven stepping forward, trying to get some stacks on his baseline quests. Zul'jin currently at 10 stacks. We have the KTZ sitting at 5 and Murden at 7. If they can win objectives early game before they've even scaled and stacked, this is going to be playing out fairly well for Flint Tropics. So they only get stronger as the game goes on. Some other quests for us to kind of keep an eye on is obviously Jaina's baseline quest, but she's also talented into globes at level 1. She has that globe quest to finish out. And Uther taking up Wave of the Light. So a couple of questing talents here to keep an eye on for Liquid Metal as well. Murden getting caught on the point, going to use that dwarf toss to get on out of there. KTZ landing a nice little combo here, start to work on the stabs, and here comes a Zul'jin following up on that with Murden on the flank to get the kill onto Uther, and they're going to take back this objective before Liquid Metal can even get a little bit channeled. Going straight in, looking at this invade on the turret camp as well. Big damage coming out from the KTZ here as they push forward onto this camp. Uther not back up for another 3 seconds. They're going to go ahead and try and cap this turret camp over on the side of Liquid Metal, pulling off the successful invade here. Just need to make sure they don't overstay their welcome now. Smiley, thank you so much for the raid. I hope you had a great stream. We're going to see Jaina fall here. Oh, look at this damage coming out from KTZ. That was brutal. 2 more members go down. Down goes the Sonya and the Mei. And they're going to retreat off of this. Up 2 turrets and 74% already channeled on this first objective. This is big for them. This is a team that's, you know, they're looking to scale, not win the early game, but they're winning the early game too. It's going to be even harder for Liquid Metal to kind of come back in the later game once you have a fully stacked KTZ and Zul'jin. Going to see this Triglaw Protector go over to the side of Flint Tropics. Siege Camp getting picked up by Liquid Metal here. Murden eyeing top fort right now. It's the typical play here is once you get into that Triglaw Protector, take a top lane, get that fountain down, open it up a little bit for this next objective since you'll know the order of where objectives are spawning in on this map. It's not random like on Infernal Shrines. We know the next one is going to be in this top lane here. Is going to manage to get that front wall down, but I'd like to see a little bit more priority on that fountain. There goes the laser. They aren't quite able to get that fountain down. Stun connecting onto Jaina here, and that's all they're going to get here. But level 10s are almost online, so they can look to try and force something in just a moment. We do have the Shadow Fissure getting picked up here by KTZ. Anduin going with her Holy Word Salvation once again. Tazdingo being grabbed by the Zul'jin. Warbringer from Varian and Avatar are getting locked in by the Muradin here. Love to see them try to force something, at least do something with their level 10s while they have that talent tier advantage. They're going to try and make a play for the support camp. Level 10's not quite online here for the side of Liquid Metal, but Varian is missing from this fight, so this is a 5v4 in their favor. Here's the Holy Word Salvation being popped by the Anduin, and he does get that full value once again. We have this Zul'jin just wailing away on the backline, nobody really paying him any mind, so he's going to get the pick onto Uther and Jaina, and KTZ is now here for the follow-up to secure locking them down. All 5 members of Liquid Metal are going to fall here. Look at all these turrets just sitting on this point as well to help them in that fight. Just so much damage. Not really the fight you want to be taking over on the side of Liquid Metal. Not quite having those level 10s online and so many turrets to be dropped. I will say at least they forced the turrets out at this point, so they're not going to have them for this next objective, and their fountain is still up in that top lane, so a little bit of a level lead happening for Flint Tropics, but they might still have a little opportunity here to try and force a fight before level 13s are online for Flint Tropics. Turret camp getting picked up by Liquid Metal here. This next objective should be coming online soon. Not quite 13s here for Flint Tropics. If they want to try and force something underneath their fort is a great place to do it. They do have those level 10s this time around. It's KTC going in for the combo here. Tries to get the Glacial Spike combo, but it's actually going to be the chain eaten by another member of Liquid Metal to keep them alive and avoid that combo. The ultimates that we have picked up over there, Divine Storm from the Uther, Wrath of the Berserker from the Sonya, Grayman actually challenging it for Grow for the Throne. Here's the KTZ combo coming out. They're going to return the favor, though, with a Ring of Frost. It's going to connect onto KTZ, so he has those slows. Blizzard being dropped as well. But the Leap of Faith going to help him stay alive, get him out of those slows. Draven's still stepping forward, and he is stacking hard on that Zul'jin. We saw it in game number 1. Another KTZ combo coming out here. We're going to see Mei and Uther getting picked off by Flint Tropics, a 2-for-0 in that engage. Look at this, 44 stacks on the Zul'jin already.
It's time, heroes. Control the terminal and bring in the protector.
We saw Draven stack really well in game number 1. They just weren't able to get the kills they needed off of it. Turret cam going to get picked up here by Flint Tropics. Jaina coming over to scout out what's going on. She's in some awkward positioning here, but the rest of the team coming in to follow up. Varian going to go ahead and drop that turret, look to try and disengage, and now we have the KTZ following up, trying to help out Varian. However, just the 2 of them, not the rest of the team around. This is the pick that picks that Liquid Metal needed here. However, 3 of them going to go down in this engage, and it's not the way they wanted it to work out. It looked so good with the Jaina and Varian getting caught so separated. Or sorry, with the Varian getting caught so separated from the team, and KTC coming in on an awkward flank there, but weren't quite able to make it work out, and it's actually going to be a 4-for-1, maybe even a 5-for-1 now that Mei is getting caught as well in favor of Flint Tropics. This is going to be put Liquid Metal quite far behind on XP here. We're going to see level 16s coming online for Flint Tropics. And Liquid Metal has just hit those level 13 talents. Objective is starting to be channeled here for Muradin. Level 16s now online for Flint Tropics. So they look to try and get that Glacial Spike combo once again. Doesn't quite work out though. All of those baseline quests over on the side of Flint Tropics have been finished off now. You see Sonya getting a little bit caught out. Greymane going in, trying to get a kill onto the KTZ. Ring of Frost being dropped by the Jaina here. Varian a little bit far forward for the rest of the team. However, that Avalanche is actually going to help more than hurt that Varian because it sends him to safety. Muradin's still continuing on with the channel onto objective. Sonya wanting to step up and look for more, knowing that it's a 5v4 here. However, regardless of it being a 5v4, they're still down those level 16, so it's a hard fight to win. And in fact, 2 of them are going to fall here. We see the Uther and the Greymane go down. And that Triglaw Protector picked up by Muradin. He's going to go ahead and siege up that top fort. Meanwhile, the rest of his team looking at this mid keep here. Big Blizzard from the Jaina, though. Tazingo being popped by
Heroes
Zul'jin is going to turn around and get the pick onto Jaina. However, KTZ does go down, not for free though. Down goes the Mei as well. It just seems like anytime Liquid Metal can secure a kill, they're losing 2 to 3 of their own members in return for it and falling even more behind on XP. Do have this Triglaw Protector now pushing in onto this top keep here. Just Muradin in it right now, so not a ton of damage. We're going to see the Varian jump into that now as well, meaning that Zul'jin and Anduin don't have necessarily the best peel right now if they wanted to look to dive them. However, the rest of the team's just kind of spawning in now, looking to see what they can do. This Triglaw Protector quite low, though. Only 9% health left on it if they want to try and make a defense here. KTZ's just spawning in now, so this is a chance for them to try to take a 5v4. They're down that talent here, but if they can combo it all right, it's a little opportunity for them to start a comeback. They're going to get the pick on Muradin. Varian also getting low, and here's an avalanche, sending Anduin straight into the back line of Liquid Metal. They're going to go ahead and get the pick on Anduin as well. Meanwhile, Zul'jin trying to make his way out of here, looking to just get a counter kill as he goes down, but unfortunately not working out for him. 4 members down on the side of Flint Tropics, and this is the comeback Liquid Metal needs to look for here. Hi, Quirky. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. All right. Zul'jin, or sorry, KTZ kind of kiting through this camp. I was afraid he's going to get caught because the next thing on the map for Liquid Metal to eye is the turret camp over on the side of Flint Tropics. They're going to make a play for that one first. And now they can back off and grab theirs if they want to. Maybe even go for taking down this mid-fort wall. But a couple more seconds here and all of the members of Flint Tropics are going to be back online. And anything they look for will be equal talent here with equal numbers. They managed to create a bit of pressure. I would have liked to see some structures fall, the map open up a little bit more over on the side of Flint Tropics. Get a couple forts down from them. But they have managed to secure all the camps on the map here. And there's only a one level lead difference here in XP. So they're making up for it a little bit. They do maybe need to consider trying to force a fight, though, because level 20s are still going to be online for Flint Tropics before Liquid Metal at this point. They have 2 turrets to drop if they want to try and force something as well in their fight. So, you know, it's a little... It might be a little more advantageous of them to just take that fight before level 20s are online as opposed to just waiting to soak it out, because we're going to see that next objective coming up soon. And Flint Tropics also going ahead and just running it down bottom lane here. This is, I don't like to leave the lane that the next objective is undefended on equal talent tiers at this point. They're going for the trade, but they're way behind on the siege pressure here. You know, they're already shredding through keep walls at this point and heading onto this keep before this fort has even gone down. Zul'jin is just so stacked. 74 stacks on the Zul'jin. He is just chunking anything he touches down incredibly fast.
Blue team has destroyed the fort. A hero has left the battle.
All right, we have a DC. It's just not the trade that they should have made there. You know, you're sitting on equal talent tiers. That's the lane where the next objective is spawning in. You just traded a fort for a fort and a keep in the lane that the Triglav Protector is going to spawn in, and now Triglav can go straight to your core, and it's a level 20 Triglav. It's really, really not the trade you want at this point in the game for Liquid Metal. Hi, Alex. How are you doing tonight? You just have the May DC, so hopefully they'll get back into the game here. But here's the thing. Liquid Metal didn't take that fight when they could have on equal talent tiers, and now they're a full level away from still reaching their level 20s. Objective is spawning in 10 seconds. They're going to have Flint Tropics be able to kind of set up on this objective ready to fight. Meanwhile, because all of the, only mid keep is up over on the side of Liquid Metal, you're going to have Katas on every wave in the top lane, continuing to siege up there. Katas in the bottom lane, continuing to siege down there. And periodic Katas in the mid lane, continuing to siege there. So a lot of pressure for them mounting whenever they step up to finally contest this objective. Which, likely they're going to try and get their level 20s here. It's going to be a very, very short window here. Exactly. Yeah, they had the 2 turrets on them. No, I totally agree with what you're saying, most polite gamer. Just woke up and already see you streaming. Sweet. Yeah, I've been trying to get a little bit earlier than normal cast right now because Scott raids on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm ready to cast at like 6:30 usually most days. All right. Gonna get back into this match. 3, 2, 1.
The prodigal hero returns. The prodigal hero returns. A hero has left the battle. Power routed to the terminal.
All right, so we already see Flint Tropics starting the channel onto this objective. They're going to walk away, though. Look for that fight up their level 20s. Taunt going out onto the Uther. The Divine Storm being popped in return here, but Uther getting quite low. The Holy Word Salvation coming out, getting full value, but not before the Avalanche gets popped, sending the Anduin into the backline. Look at this Tazdingo. He is able to get full health off of that Tazdingo with a level 20 pickup here. All 5 members down on the side of Liquid Metal. GGs are being called here.
Red team's score is under.
My goodness. 80 stacks on the Zul'jin right now. Oof. That's rough.
Blue team has destroyed the fort.
All right, with all 5 members down on the side of Liquid Metal, the core is going to fall as well in game number 3. We'll be going over to the side of Flint Tropics, who takes the series 2-1 tonight. GG's and well played. Take a look at this match summary here, and I'm going to reach out. Very dominant game by Flint Tropics once again. I can't help but feel this series really could have gone either way, though, because we saw Liquid Metal kind of dominate Flint Tropics in game number 1. So, you know, very, very kind of back and forth in that sense of the series. Let's take a look at these talents here, and I'm going to reach out, see if somebody from Flint Tropics would like to do an interview. All right, I'm going to drop into the lobby. See who joins us here. Just a moment. We'll pop back on over here. All right.
Hello?
All right. Hello. Congrats on the win. How are you guys feeling after that series?
Yeah, pretty good. It's obviously good to win.
Tell me, after game number 1, there's a pretty dominant win over on the side of Liquid Metal. So what do you do with your team to not get discouraged and kind of turn it around from there?
So, yeah, we just wanted to try to sync up the game a little bit better. In that first game, we played pretty poorly, and they took advantage of it and really jumped on us a lot. So then in the second game, we had not too much of a different comp. Obviously, we had Chromie as the damage dealer, and then a variant, so it was different, but the same general comp. And then we were able to just get really good engaged team fights where we could all sync up as a group and, 5-on-1, whoever was out front.
Yeah, no, it worked out quite well. The adding the variant into your comp. I was a little surprised because I don't typically see, taunt variants ran in the off lane, but it worked really well. It just gave you the little bit of extra CC your team needed to secure those kills. How much scouting did you do in preparation for this match? Were you aware of some of the things Liquid Metal played, or was this a learning experience just off of that game one?
We watched their first games. I'm sure they watched our first games, and then you look at everyone's profile in the NGS just to see what everybody does, but they could be practicing somebody else entirely, so it might not matter. So when they really beat us with Cassia and Vala, we just didn't want to play against those two because they're good heroes, so we just banned them right away.
Yeah, no, I can't say I blame you. And that seemed to work out going into game 2 and 3 here for you. You took away the Cassia both times. And even in that third game, banning out the Joanna, they seem to kind of have their draft order kind of figured out. They want that Sonya Uther early pickup with the Joanna, and they saved their DPS for last. So I really like that you guys chose to ban out that Joanna in the third game there.
Yeah, it was between we didn't really think they were going to take a Mei, which is pretty annoying because she can throw the circle in on the point, but it ended up working out for us.
Yeah. One last question here before we get into shoutouts. How long has your team been playing together?
So 4 of us have been playing. I guess 5 of us have been playing together for a few years on Storm League. So just nothing competitive, just screwing around, usually kind of late at night. So it's sometimes good or sometimes bad. And then, another one that we just started playing with over the last few months. So it's worked out pretty well.
So this is your first season of NGS then?
That's right.
All right. Well, I wish you guys the best of luck then. I hope your first season turns out to be a good one here for you. Is there any shoutouts you'd like to toss out there before you wrap things up?
Sure. So shout out to you for casting us. That's great. Thanks for that. We'll definitely all be watching it later and seeing how bad we did so we can get pointers for next week. And then just our team for giving 100% and doing a team effort. And then, it was fun to play against the other team. Those were good matches and we had a lot of fun.
All right. Well, best of luck and the rest of NGS here. I'm excited to see where your team goes as a fresh team to NGS. And I hope it all is fun for you. Have yourselves a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you later.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. Okay. Let me see if there's anyone still left casting NGS tonight. Or hang on, give me a second actually. Scott has he's raiding tonight, and he has somebody in his guild that sometimes streams, and I've been meaning to raid him one night if they're still streaming at the same time, but I don't know if he's streaming tonight. So let me find you somebody that we can send you on over here to watch. Just give me one moment. In the meantime, if you guys want to catch me streaming again, I will be live Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific. Coffee Club TV will be joining me to cast an NGS series that night. And you can catch me again on Friday at 6 p.m. and Saturday at 3 p.m. Again, I pretty much only cast Heroes of the Storm, so if you're into Heroes of the Storm cast, well, this is the right channel for you. Make sure you hit that follow button. Let's find somebody to host here. All right, IceX is still streaming, so let's send you on over to there because they are casting some NGS as well. So we'll send the NGS love over to Ice. Make sure to drop them a follow, and I will see you guys again Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of your week. Until then, stay safe out there, and thanks for hanging out.